Back. So now that we know how to make these countdown sequences, let's build one. And I figured the best way to show you how to build one is to walk you through two. There are two ways we can build a countdown sequence. The first way is using a tool like Scarcity Samurai. If you do it this way, it doesn't matter if you're using an Infusionsoft or Aweber with AW Pro Tools or any other CRM that's capable of that type of list segmentation and automation, right? The second way I'm going to show you is Infusionsoft dependent. So let me show you the Scarcity Samurai method first. Now remember, in order for a countdown sequence to function, what do we got to have? Well, the first thing we have to have is we need to have a web page that makes the offer. So, if you recall, Scarcity Samurai makes web pages look cool like this. Now, this is a classic example of a Scarcity Samurai web page. So if someone on my list clicks in my countdown campaign, they're going to go to this website and they're going to see that they've only got 3 days, 23 hours, 56 minutes, and counting left until this offer expires, right? Now I've built this in Scarcity Samurai. If they come back 24 hours from now, it'll say 2 days, 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 14 seconds, right? And if they come back 4 days from now, and this is expired, it will redirect them to an entirely different page that says sold out. That happens automatically, and again, like I said, it's using this tool called Scarcity Samurai, which I bought for a whopping, what is it, $197 if you want an unlimited license, or $100 if you want to put it on one site. I don't know why you need to put it on a lot of sites, so I think you can just get it for $97 and be fine. So that's what the page looks like. Now, I won't show you how to build the page in Scarcity Samurai because it's really pretty self-explanatory, but I will show you how to build the campaign. So what we need to understand in this particular campaign is that all of the heavy lifting in terms of making this website go away and all that kind of stuff, that's done automatically through Scarcity Samurai. It just works. It's cool, right? This makes your scarcity real. This makes that deadline a real deadline without you having to go in and manually change your web page ever, right? So in this particular sequence, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the survey siphon countdown sequence. Now, this is a countdown sequence I've deployed to my list on several occasions, and it does the usual. It provides value through this video right here. The sales pitch actually is a tutorial. So it provides value, it builds goodwill because I show them the tutorial and give them a cool case study, and of course it makes an offer, right? And the thing that really turbocharges it here is this countdown sequence. So the first thing we need to do in order for the countdown sequence to work is to get them to click on this page, right? So do you remember earlier when we built your goodwill sequence, that we sent that series of emails that says, hey, go watch video number 1, and we wouldn't send them the emails about video 2, 3, and 4 until they sent video number 1? That's what this nag sequence does. It's a series of emails that say, hey, go and click this link. And as soon as they click the link, we stop sending them these guys, and we start sending them these guys. And what this one does is it does exactly like I showed you in the earlier videos. It says, hey, there's only 72 hours left, there's only 48 hours left, and all of that kind of stuff, right? So now that you see the structure of it, let me show you how to actually build it. So we'll go back to, where are we? A lot of campaigns going on in here. We'll go back to the campaign we've been working on, right? So this is the entire big picture. From the minute someone opts in, they get the reminder sequence. If they click the link, they get the goodwill series. If they buy, they don't get anything. If they don't click the link, we send them the angle sequence. And now what are we going to do, right? Well, we're going to put a countdown sequence in there. We can even put a countdown sequence to sell a back-end product as part of your ascension, by the way. But for now, let's just add it right here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to restructure this. I'm just going to get rid of these arrows right here, and I'm just going to make everything kind of prettier looking, right? So they got the reminder sequence, they clicked the link, they watched the goodwill series they bought, that's cool. If they didn't click the link, or if they didn't buy or whatever, we're going to send them the angle sequence, right? So the angle sequence says, hey, go click this angle's link. So if they go click the link, they can do what? Well, the first thing they can do is they can buy. So I'll move this guy over here. Whoops, I need a sequence here. Hang on just a second. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to tag them. If they click the link, I'm going to tag them. So I'll add a little sequence, and I'll simply call this tag. tagged as clickers. Now, hang on, I'll tell you why I'm doing this in a minute. You remember how we do it? We're going to add a process that says apply or remove tag. Okay, and I would tell them to create a tag. Well, we'll go ahead and do it. We'll say clicked. There we go. Angles number 1. Okay, so I'll click on create and I'll hit save. All right, so now I'll connect these dudes. So I'll now connect these guys. So what this means now is we have a closed loop. See, so if they go through the angle sequence and they click and now they're tagged, and if they buy it, now they're not going to get anything else. But what if they don't buy, right? Well, if they don't buy, we could, of course, resend them the Goodwill series if we wanted to, right? Like what I showed you in the last video, but let's get a little fancier. Let's now send them the countdown sequence. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to drag this for our email sequence down here, and I'm going to connect it, right? So if they don't click this thing, we're going to send them first the nag sequence. So I'll call this the nag sequence, all right? And go ahead, I'll edit it and open it up. Now, if you remember, if we start out, now our first thing we want to do is we're going to want to add an email, right? But what's going to happen if we add an email immediately? Well, if we add an email immediately and we don't put a delay timer, they're going to get like 2 emails in a day. They're going to get the final email of this one, and then we're going to put them right in the nag sequence, and they're going to get the first email of the nag sequence. So what should we do? You got it. We should add a delay timer. So I'm going to put a delay timer here, and you want to give them a rest? Let's give them a rest. Let's wait 2 days. Well, 3 days. What the heck? And we'll say run any day at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay? So that's cool. So now after 3 days, what do we want to do? Well, we're going to send them email numero uno. Now, lucky for you, I've given you a swipe file with this email in here. And my job, lucky for me, is easier than yours, because all I got to do is I got to say copy from campaign. I'm going to say copy from, where are you? Survey siphon countdown. Now I'm going to say email number 1. Boom. Okay, so this is email number 1. Now you've got the swipe file as well. So obviously I don't suggest you copy my email. I'm giving you the swipe file just as an example of how to structure this campaign. Now remember, everything with mass conversion, everything we do is about pulling them to us. We don't push ourselves at them. We pull them to us. We want that to be that intrinsic decision on their part where they say, hey, this is pretty cool. We're not saying, hey, this is cool. They're saying it. We just provide the evidence as this is cool and let them draw their own conclusion. So notice how this email was written. Now, again, I've given you a PDF with this in here. So it says, new video from Kern, $113,000 case study. Here's a brand new case study video I just made for you. It walks you through a stealth selling campaign I just ran, which brought in over $113,000 revenue. It might take a minute to load, but it should play automatically for you here. P.S. The video is only about 13 minutes, and there's a very nice surprise right around the 11-minute mark. Now, if they click here, this is where they're going. This is the page. So after 11 minutes, a little buy button shows up here. They get a cool discount on the survey siphon, and everything's awesome, right? So this whole video is accomplishing 2 things. It's making this countdown offer, right? And the only thing, oh, look, it's been 11 minutes, so I had this on the screen. It's pretty good timing, right? So it's making this countdown offer, and it's providing the goodwill and just helping out, right, and being cool. So the thing we need to do mechanically here is what? Well, remember, the nag sequence is just to get them to do what? To click the link. But after they click the link, what do we start doing? Right, we start reminding them that, hey, 72 hours left, 48 hours left, etc. We're not going to tell them about a deadline and bonuses until they've raised their hand and demonstrated by their behavior that they're interested, right? That's what this nag sequence is for. Therefore, we're going to put maybe 2, maybe 3 emails in the nag sequence, and if they click the link, then we're going to take them out of the nag sequence, and we're going to add them to the actual countdown sequence. So I'll go ahead and build this, at least structurally now, and I'll connect the dots. So therefore, we put this as a goal. If they click the link, this stops, and then this starts. And this is called the countdown sequence. Ta-da! Okay, so you remember the tag we created? I kind of do. What was it called? Clicked something? Clicked a link? So let's see. It wasn't clicked angles. Wow, we need to create it is what we need to do. Okay, so we're going to say clicked click countdown nag. Quaint down. Wrong spelling. Countdown nag. So I'll create that. Okay, and I'll save it. So now, and I'll name this so when we're looking at this at a glance, it'll make sense. There we go. So now we have it. If they click this link, this is what we want to have happen. If they click this link, they'll be taken out of the nag sequence. They'll be placed in countdown sequence, right? And since we're already here, we might as well complete this. And if they buy during the countdown sequence, we're not going to continue counting down. We're going to stop it. So what do? We set this as a goal to end this. So now we still have a closed loop. You always want your campaign to be closed, right? You don't want any open-ended things. You want a scenario, a response for every possible scenario. That's how we're building this guy, right? So let's go back to our nag sequence. We're not done. We created email number 1, and I've got my link in here already. And what I need to do is I need to say, go ahead and apply a tag if they click. So I'm going to say click countdown nag. Insert update, right? Now I'll do the same thing here. So I'm going to say with this link here, and we already got that tag applied. I'm going to make sure it's here. Nope, got to fix that. Clicked. Now I've created this campaign before, so you're seeing my old tags. Clicked countdown nag. So we do that for every link in the email. So basically when you're creating your email, you want to link it to your countdown page, and you want to tag them, right? Whether you're using Infusionsoft or Aweber and AW Pro Tools, it doesn't matter. The automation occurs when the tag is created, right? So we do all of that here, and we say, okay, let's go back to ready. And I'm not going to make you watch me do every single hyperlink. And we say, okay, this is email number 1. Perfect, right? But now what do we want to do? Well, we want to remind them again. That's what a nag sequence is for, right? So we're going to give them a day here. Connect the dots. Isn't Infusionsoft just amazing? Oh, sorry, I put the wrong thing in there. Talking and trying to build stuff at the same time. I think Infusionsoft is the coolest thing ever because it just allows us to build these things so easily. So we'll say, wait 1 day, run any day at whatever time you choose. I like 10 a.m. Okay, and then we'll send another email, and you are lucky. You don't have to watch me type. I'll just go ahead and copy from the existing campaign. And man, I wish I could set this up for you where you could just copy from the existing campaign, but that technology is not here yet. So I've given you the swipe file for you to model. So I'll say, okay, there, buddies, let's do the survey siphon countdown. We'll do it from email number dose, right? And again, use this. This is just me nagging. Say, dude. Now, of course, if they clicked yesterday's email, they're not getting this. So again, it's almost the exact same copy. And I won't make you watch me do it, but we need to link to our countdown page and tag them, right? We save this guy. We go back to sequence. We call this email number 2. Okay. I'll move this fellow over here. And then let's wait another day and send them the 3rd email. I like a nag sequence to have 3 emails. I think that's enough, right? If they don't click after 3, then they ain't going to click, and we got to come at them at a different angle. But if they do click, now we're in business, right? So I'll say wait uno day, any day, 10 o'clock a.m. We'll click on save, and we'll send them email number 3. Now I'll pause it. I won't make you watch me get email number 3 because you have the swipe file and you're pretty good at writing emails by now, all right? So hang on, let me pause this and just do it for you. Okay, so I've gone ahead and copied that. Now you'll notice the only difference here is the subject line. So when you're writing these, you could probably get a little fancier here, but in my case, it's just like, look, this is a freaking cool video. I don't need to write a dang novel convincing them to watch this video. If they don't watch it, then they're busy or they're not paying attention. So all I did was I just changed the subject line for all 3 emails. Again, I can't stress this enough. Make sure you do the hyperlinking and tag them. Apply the proper tag, right? So we go back to the sequence. This is all nice looking, right? And now we've built our nag sequence. So that means if they don't purchase from the angle sequence, we wait a day and we start saying, hey, go check out this thing. Now when they click the thing, Now they go to a page with a timer on it, and let's say this timer is 4 days. That means we're going to build a 4-day countdown sequence. Now, just as a side note about Scarcity Samurai, your timer can be as long as you want or as short as you want. It can be different colors. You can customize what it says up here. You can customize the way these numbers look, right? It's very, very simple and cool and easy. So now what we need to do is we need to, now that they've clicked and they've seen the timer and they know there's a deadline, now we need to start adding that scarcity. So in this case, in this particular campaign, because I created it in a hurry, I didn't even start adding bonuses. This whole countdown sequence was literally about an offer going away. There are no bonuses or anything, right? So rather than just tell you what to do, I'll just show you exactly how I built this one, because it has brought in, I think, close to $250,000 already. I've deployed it a few times to my list. I kind of, folks who hadn't clicked on anything in a while, I'll say, well, I'll round them all up and I'll deploy this nice little survey siphon countdown. So for the countdown sequence, what we're going to do is we can immediately send them the deadline style emails, or you can wait a day. And in this case, I think we should wait a day because they already see that there's a deadline right here. So we don't need to email them immediately saying, hey, there's a deadline. Like, they can logically conclude that. So what we're going to do is we're going to remind them about it tomorrow. So I'll put myself one of these little handy dandy delay timers right here. And I will say, let's wait a day. Whoops, always hit the wrong arrow there. Yep, 1 day. Run any day, 10 o'clock in the morning. Crazy about 10 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll send our first official countdown email. And what I'm going to do right here is, of course, I'm going to copy this from an existing campaign. Now, you have this, of course, in your swipe file. So hang on, I'll pause the video so you don't have to watch me do that. Here we are. Now, you can see in the swipe file here, now we're talking about the deadline, and now we're talking about the discount, right? So very, very simple. Your big discount on Survey Siphon ends in 72 hours. Now, are they going to know what we're talking about? Hell yeah. Why? Because just yesterday they clicked and they went here. We know that because of the way we built this campaign. It's behavioral, it's dynamic. Our system was responding dynamically to their behavior. That's putting the perfect message in front of the perfect market at the perfect time using the perfect media, which in this case is email, because that's what they're responding to, right? So your big discount on Survey Siphon ends in 72 hours. Go here and get your copy right now. This just takes them right back to this page. Now, because we're using Scarcity Samurai, it's been 24 hours. It's going to say this expires now in 2 days and 23 hours, right? So 24 hours will have gone by since they saw it, right? Or however much time has gone by since they saw it. That will reflect here. Scarcity Samurai remembers last time they came, and it updates the countdown timer to reflect that, right? So it's really, really cool. So very simply, all we're doing right here is we're saying, go here and get it. Discounts are going to end, and then we're just building the value. Last time I offered it was for this. It was originally part of a $1,000 training. It's not available anywhere else. In 72 hours, the discount goes away, right? So pretty cool. Very, very simple. So I'll go ahead, turn this guy on live, and go back to sequence, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to wait another day, and then basically, I'll do all 3 of these now for you. We're going to have 2 more emails that go out, right? Because there are 3 days left. This was a 4-day campaign. Now, of course, you don't have to do them 4 days. You can do them, 2, 5, whatever. But because this is a 4-day campaign, they went on the first day. We're going to send this on the second day, and we're going to send more emails until the actual deadline, right? So I'll take this fella here, and I will bring this thing over here, and I'll bring in the next email. So here we are. I just saved you the trouble of watching me cut and paste there. Or not cut and paste, but copy from another campaign. So this one, I just changed the subject line, another 50K. Now in this case, it's all congruent with the way this campaign works. So if you'll remember, everything about this sales video is actually a tutorial. This is a really, really big deal in the mass conversion methodology. It's very, very rare that we just pitch without value, right? So in this tutorial, which I'm referencing here, where I'm telling them about how I did that campaign and all that kind of stuff, I mentioned that, hey, part of the revenue was recurring. So now I'm saying, hey, another 50K came in because part of that revenue was recurring, referencing the video that they watched here, right? Now I'm reminding them that now we have only 48 hours left. I talk about the value again. I just copied this straight from the last email, and then I give them the link to go and order, which is very, very simple, right? And I say it expires in 48 hours. And of course, this timer will reflect that automatically because we just set it up in Scarcity Samurai, which is really, really simple. So go from draft to ready. I go back to the sequence, and now I'm going to send another email. Whoops, I need a timer first. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to wait a day, right? So they clicked on day 1. This is day 2, right? And we're ready to rumble. So here we go. Now let's see. Yeah, so they had 3 days left here. On day 1, they had 4 days. There's no email. They have 3 days left here. They have 2 days left here. They have 24 hours left here. So we're going to say, let's run any day, 10 a.m., boom, and now we're going to send them the email that says, hey, dude, you got 24 hours. You better get it together. All right, so I'll open this email up, and I'll paste it in here. I won't make you watch me load it. Here's the email, and this now I'm really playing very heavily on this scarcity, right? Deadline, 24 hours. 2 things. First of all, your huge discount for the service siphon goes away in about 24 hours. When the timer hits 0 here, it's gone. This should be a hyperlink. Now remember, I'm referencing this timer, and by now this timer is just going to say 1 day is left, right? Because of the way we've synced everything here. So, in fact, it's not for sale at any price. Go here and get your copy now. And I talked about the rebills, and then again, it's just cutting and pasting from the exact same reasons why they should buy that I'd already written. And again, I say in 24 hours, the discount goes away and the product is off the market. So you'll notice it's really, really heavy on that scarcity now. Really, really playing up the fact that this thing's going to go away in 24 hours. And because I've used Scarcity Samurai, it actually will go away. If they go to this page after this timer reaches 0, they'll hit a totally different page, and they cannot access this at all. So when you're using scarcity, it's important to do your best to make it real, which is a really, really big deal. So I'll go back to sequence, and I'll go change this guy from ready to, or rather from draft to ready. But you know what? We can make this a little better because look, I'm going to name these emails actually. So this one goes out when they have 72 hours left, right? Hours. I won't even bother with the spelling there. This one goes out when they have 48 hours left. This one goes out when they have 24 hours left. Dude, let's pump up the gas a little bit on this thing. We still have 24 more hours to market to them. So let's do one more email. Why don't we wait 12 hours? So this is how cool Infusionsoft is. This is where you really start seeing the difference in this application. Let's wait 12 hours, run on any day at 10 a.m. Oh, actually, you know what? Because it's 12 hours, that wouldn't make sense. So that's going to be at 10 p.m. Because if it runs at 10 a.m. here and we wait 12 hours, or rather, if this one goes out at 10 a.m., we're waiting 12 hours, and this is going to need to run at 10 p.m. that same day. Almost messed us up. There we go. Okay, so basically, if I say wait 12 hours, it needs to go off from 12 hours later than whenever this one is. All right, so now let's send them the final email. And this is going to be cool. And this is just going to play up that scarcity, right? So this will be the final notice email. Who can resist an email that says final notice? So I'm going to copy this from the existing campaign. You have it in your swipe file, which of course you can download below this video. Subject line, all caps, final notice. Your chance to save big on Survey Siphon expires in just a few hours. When the timer hits 0 here, it's gone. It's not for sale at any price. Get your copy now. And again, here's just more reasons why they should buy it. See for yourself here. This is just a last-ditch effort to make the sale, right? Just like when you're doing a launch. In fact, this is almost like an automated launch. Really, we just didn't have the pre-launch build-up to it. We're just playing on the scarcity here, which is real because we're using Scarcity Samurai. So I'll go ahead and go from draft to ready, go back to sequence, and now we really have something. They clicked, we waited a day, we say 72 hours left, we wait a day, we say 48 hours left, we wait a day, we say 24 hours left, we wait 12 hours, and we say final notice. That is a good sequence to use here as a countdown. So once we've done it, of course, we hit publish, and now the campaign becomes real, right? And it looks like, let me just go back over here to edit. I need to make this guy live here. I need to go from draft to ready, right, to make that application of the tag work. And I'll publish uno more time. There we go. So now we have a complete closed circuit. They come in here, and if they don't buy, they're getting all of this stuff, right? Now, the cool thing about a countdown sequence or an angle sequence or a goodwill series, we can do the same type of series to be deployed after they've purchased, right? So after they purchase, we can say, okay, well, let's take a sequence and let's add a goodwill sequence for a back-end product, right? And we can just say, boom, and attach it right there. And we can start build this entire thing about another product and choose any of these types of sequences we want to sell our back-end stuff, which is really, really cool. And of course, if they buy it, then we don't bother them and all of those kind of things, right? So that's really, really nice. So what I want to do in the next video, and this is just for Infusionsoft users only, is I want to show you how to use this without Scarcity Samurai to actually plug in the, to actually use Infusionsoft to make the countdown sequence link go away on its own without the use of a timer or anything, right? There's advantages to it, which is you don't have to use Scarcity Samurai. The disadvantage is there's no countdown timer on the page. But I'll show you how to do it because who knows? That might be the way you want to do it, okay? So I'll end this video here, and I'll see you in the next one.